Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Creative Voice in partnership with AITA. For those who don't know, we are the official podcasters for Design Force Month of Design, held all of September 2023. We are super excited because right now we are currently at the Taubman Center for Design Jam. And I want to introduce you to my co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Danny Wu, co-host of the show. Here we're with Bonnie and Steve. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Bonnie, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Fahoome. I'm the co-executive director at Design Corps Detroit, which is the department of the College for Creative Studies here in the city of Detroit. We organize the Month of Design Festival, which is in its 13th year. And I am also the organizer of a particular event for the festival called the Design Jam, which for the third year in a row is having students and professional designers, as well as manufacturers and entrepreneurs, ideate products that create greater access for people with disabilities to participate in Michigan's outdoor recreation.
Ooh. Our podcast is focused on covering interviews, events, and programs around creatives, deep diving into their process, their hurdles, their successes, and lessons from their voice in particular. And the beautiful thing about the word creative is that it's literally all encompassing when it comes down to genres and industries and even space and location. And today we have a special guest that we're going to start off with.
Yes, my colleague and friend, Stephen Schott, who's full-time faculty in product design at the College for Creative Studies here in Detroit. Stephen was the one who inspired me after we did a design jam virtually during 2020 to continue this program at the College for Creative Studies. And so I often say that it's his inspiration is why we are here today.
Tell us exactly what's going on in those rooms and what part do you play?
There's 8 teams, and we have to understand the needs of these users, and we're designing products to address the needs of certain disabilities. So each team will be creating prototypes and ideas to improve the quality of the life. In this case, they are volunteers with certain disabilities, physical disabilities.
Yes, so the end users for the products that are being created today are people from the disability community with a wide range of issues and challenges, but they are actively participating. The important thing to note here about the creative process that's happening is that everyone at the table is considered an expert and is bringing some perspective and expertise to the design process. It's very much about inclusive, human-centered design. And so today's the sexy, fun part in the lab where people are actually getting their hands dirty and ripping things apart and sewing things and stapling things. And it's very creative and exciting and fun. But we began the Design Jam event yesterday with a virtual session that included training on ableism, some tips for anti-ableism and accessibility, what that really means, language around disabilities, how to participate and include people. We actually talked about inclusive design as a process and the rules of engagement for everyone to work collaboratively at the table, setting the stage for folks in advance before they come into the studio to work together on collaborative teams with people they've never met before from a wide variety of backgrounds and what it really means to respect all of the voices in the design process.
Most of the time, people are thinking about the visual aesthetics, but we're also talking about the accessibility, the functionality. So a lot of the individuals and the groups that are in there, what type of mediums are most of their backgrounds? What type of mediums are they normally working with?
What's so exciting about this event is it's all over the board.
Okay.
We have people come up to us afterwards and introduce themselves, and it's surprising sometimes who they are. One of the next people that you've been talking to here in this podcast is actually Charlie Garnett with GM. And he came up to me after he participated last year and he said, I'm leading accessible interior design at GM, and this is the future of our workforce, so I really want to be more involved in participating. So he's a facilitator this year. We have a lot of students, and the students across all kinds of disciplines. We've had architects, we've had folks working on the line at Carvart. One of our end users today is Director of Communication from Michigan Rehabilitation Institute. The idea behind inclusive design and participatory design is, again, everyone has expertise, so we are very intentional about making sure that the teams are made up of interdisciplinary people from a wide variety of backgrounds.
We're designing products for a boulder student that does bouldering, professional.
So tell people what bouldering is.
Bouldering is basically climbing boulders. So if you've been to a climbing gym or a gym where you're doing climbing, that's bouldering. So our client had conversations to understand, what were certain struggles or stress points within their bouldering experience. And so we're designing products to kind of address the needs based on what they've told us.
Okay, gotcha. And what are you doing specifically?
Typically, they talked about as they're climbing, their abrasion, so their skin is in contact with the boulders and often there's bruising, scraping. So we're creating a product to protect the skin that's removable, breathable, easy to put on. So yeah.
What's nice about these types of challenges is that, like you said, Bonnie, there's always going to be an end user with a very specific interest or activity that they would want to be more accessible. And it seems like every team is definitely having that as like an advisory role, and it's very interactive. As an educator, how do you get involved with this yourself? And like if other folks who are listening in want to be involved with this in the future?
Yeah, this is an annual event Bonnie organizes every year. We advertise it and encourage people to participate. And emails go out to colleges, universities, and we have partners that help spread the word.
Yeah. For anyone out there who's interested in more information, you can email info@designcore.org, and it's designcore.org, and we can respond with some more information about how to get involved for next year's event. We begin planning in January, and it takes us a really long time to put all of these moving parts together. Stephen mentioned partners, so I'll just give the audience a little idea of what kinds of partners we're looking for and we're interested in partnering with. One of our partners is a national organization that focuses on small-scale manufacturing and product development as a strategy for wealth building and equitable economic opportunity in urban centers, and they're called the Urban Manufacturing Alliance. So they're one of our main program partners. They helped introduce the Design Jam curriculum to us 4 years ago. We also work with some local manufacturing partners because we want all of these ideas that are generated to be grounded in the reality and feasibility of actually making something that could be produced in Michigan to provide economic opportunity and job growth. There's certainly potential for these projects to be commercialized. We have academic partners because we see this as an experiential learning opportunity for students. We've had some partners from various disability organizations that are advocating for disability rights. So we've worked with Detroit Disability Power and Ani Bulgarian, a consultant on disability rights and disability justice. This year we had Teach Access, which is a nonprofit focused on teaching accessibility in a variety of forms and products. We have a sponsor, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, this year has provided some funding to support feeding everyone all day, which is greatly appreciated. And we've had a variety of partners over the years, but we're always interested in folks who want to sponsor Month of Design activities and do brand activations and have some of these issues and themes aligned with their brand strategy. So we're looking for that, but there's also opportunity for manufacturers to partner that might want to pick up one of these ideas, which are all Creative Commons, so open to anyone. Maybe actually create a short batch of these or a real working prototype that can be tested as a possible opportunity for commercialization in the state. We're always open to conversations if people have other ideas about how they could participate. Again, info@designcore.org.
So would you also say that an entity or organization or business or a manufacturing space and specifically looking to make sure that DEI is present in various different ways, this space is great for a company to sign up, be involved, be a spectator? Because if I'm not mistaken, everyone that's here is registered, but can people come in as spectators?
They certainly can. So if you want to eat lunch, you should probably register. But if you really don't care about that and you just want to pop in and check it out, we're open to that. We just ask that you let us know who you are so that we know who's in the building. One of the interesting things about the Taubman Center for Design Education is there's a lot of other things happening here. There are businesses run out of this building, and there are also dormitories here for some of the CCS students.
So Steve, before we wrap up this particular segment, especially with you, tell me if you can remember from last year's Design Jam, which group had a success story?
We had quite a few ideas last year, and I think we worked with a client that had been stroke victim. So we tried to develop products that they could use in their daily lives. And one of the things that came out in that conversation was they wanted to be able to walk their dog, and keep their balance. So we created a product, a harness system that would allow them to walk their dog safely.
Ultimate goal, Elizabeth, is that we can have one of these products get picked up. One of the things about this that's exciting is when we have emerging entrepreneurs and students and young folks, they don't necessarily have the capital to take an idea all the way through the process of product development and iterative design to get something commercialized. It's one of the reasons we leave it open source is because anybody can take the idea and run with it. We do have a couple of examples over the years of where people have continued to work on one of the ideas that came out. We asked the question about partnership. We're looking for somebody who wants to get involved and maybe fund an actual working prototype of one of these ideas. We know that there are a number of folks working on outdoor industry type products in the state of Michigan that might be interested. We'll start to gain more attention and make it something that's recognizable for folks year after year. And then maybe we'll find that partner we're looking for to commercialize an idea.
Absolutely. Because I know tons of art, tons of even after today, you know,
Absolutely.
tons and tons, and a lot of ideas evolve into other things. And I think that's what's so amazing about the creativity of being in a space like this.
One of the things that we are looking to do this year as a post-event activity, I am presenting at the Urban Manufacturing Alliance Conference in Baltimore in October. One of the things we're hoping to do is take the winning idea from today, the team that gets the popular vote for their idea, use it as an example, and then live stream a little workshop at the conference around what next steps would be required. And that's sort of in the works. That would be some date in October at that conference.
Absolutely. I love it. It's a ton of community in there.
Nice.
Everybody is definitely deep diving and so focused. So thank you so much, Bonnie.
Yeah, we appreciate
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, so Luke Mays, and we're back with the Creative Voice at the Taubman Center for Design Jam.
I'm Danny Wu, and we're here with Bonnie and Charlie.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Fahoome, once again, co-executive director of Design for Detroit. We organize the Detroit Month of Design, and I am the organizer of the Design Jam event. And my friend Charlie Garnett is here with us from General Motors.
Thanks for having me. I'm a vehicle architect at the Tech Center in Warren, Michigan.
And so, Charlie, what is it that drew you to the Design Jam and what brought you back this year?
On these last couple of years, I've really been on a journey of learning about accessibility, trying to bring it into our products, building it up front. And I'm really excited about the fact that students are learning about this. These are the people who are going to come and be my colleagues in the near future. And the designers and engineers that I work with really need to be inclusive about the designs.
For your design team that you're on right now, can you tell us a little bit about the process with them?
I work with the marketing team very early, maybe 7 years before a vehicle hits the road, and start to talk about what types of vehicles we're going to build. It's a lot of electric vehicles in the future, of course. We work with design to decide what those vehicles look like. I'm an engineer myself, so I work with all the different teams within the engineering disciplines to put seats and mirrors and everything in place. And so with each of those jobs, we've been trying to impress upon everyone to be inclusive about those designs, make sure that everything works for as many people as possible. And we know that a quarter of the population of adults in the U.S. has some disability. So that's a huge market. So it's easy for me to make that business case at GM to say there are a lot of customers affected by this.
And this event itself, what is something that you find really rewarding about being here at Design Jam?
I was here last year, and it's been really fun for me to come back and see a lot of people that I met last year and talk to them again. It's great to see people's eyes open to the realities and really kind of understand the design challenge that's out there and all the opportunities for just cool new products that they can put together.
Good to hear. And I wanted to pass it over to Elizabeth for her perspective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So particularly with your role, what is it that you're bringing from your role here today specifically that you know is going to be very impactful?
It's really at the core of it all. It's nothing about us without us, right? So really that's the only message I have for anybody working in this area is make sure that you're talking to the user themselves and making sure that you're not making any judgments about what product might work for other people without really getting that first.
Right. And when you hear the word disability, I feel like not enough people really understand the range of a disability. At my company, Mays Multimedia, we partner with, I think it's MRS, Michigan Rehabilitation, to actually bring persons with disabilities into the workforce with us. Because my thing is like that could be someone who has lost a finger down to who has sight issues or hearing or physical, right? What are some other areas of disability that you could talk about that actually bring awareness to the listeners?
We talk about the full range of disabilities at GM. I think it's 1 in 12 men is colorblind. So it's really easy at work because very often we have these charts that show red, yellow, green status. You know, when we're having troubles, things are red, and when it's going all right, it's green. And there's so many times I've given that presentation and somebody says, hey, I'm colorblind. I can't tell which status you're trying to show me here. So that's just like an easy starting point for everybody to kind of understand, how do I clearly communicate these things? And then we talk about like how people interact with their vehicle, the things that they reach, if there's voice commands involved, you know, if anybody has a hearing disability, does that really work for them properly? You get those warnings, those signals that you're going to crash and you need to hit the brakes. Like, is that going to work for every individual who's out there? And then future, really the near future, are going to be autonomous vehicles. So people who couldn't drive previously are going to have that opportunity. So we're making sure, and we've got vehicles running around in San Francisco right now, you can take those autonomous taxi rides. But we want to make sure that those vehicles are accessible to as many people as possible.
Because accessibility is key, especially
sure.
when it comes to DEI. Making sure that it's available and that it's within reach, and regardless of whatever your ability is, you should be able to work with, right? So what brought you into this particular industry? Because, you know, I feel like a lot of people have stories, whether it's their family or whether it's something that piqued their interest, whether they went to school for it. What brought you into this industry to be a vehicle architect?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in Michigan, a couple hours north of here, and went to the University of Michigan for mechanical engineering, master's in automotive engineering. So I told my wife at that point, you know, I'm only going to be able to work in the Detroit area, which is a beautiful thing, really. And it's been a long journey for the last 20 odd years to learn about different parts of the vehicle. And now I have the opportunity to work on the entire vehicle. And that brings me back to, you know, being able to make sure that those vehicles accommodate as many people as possible.
Right. And not to be biased, but which vehicle would you say it is that GM offers that you know for sure has fully created a system, both physical, tangible, and et cetera, that you know is encompassing a lot of the disabilities?
Well, like you said, there's this whole range, right? So I know a wheelchair user that actually a Camaro works perfectly for him. He transfers from his wheelchair into that nice little seat.
Yeah.
He loves the horsepower besides. That works great for him. You know, if there's a lot of people who need a little more space, Chevy Traverse works out pretty well. But even beyond that, there's a company in Indiana that modifies the Traverse, adds a wheelchair ramp to it, makes it so that people can enter and exit with their wheelchair secured. So there's that option too.
Gotcha. So when an individual is interested in actually buying a car and they need more add-ons, do they talk to the dealership? Do they have to do research and find a company that's going to be able to help modify their vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people rely on that community to talk to each other about
Right.
what's worked for them. But there is a part of the Chevy website where you can go in and it'll tell you get some rebates on making those modifications, and they'll kind of give you some points as to where to go to get the modifications done.
Nice. Okay. I definitely didn't know that.
It was nice talking to you, Charlie.
It
Thanks for
was. Thank you,
Great.
Charlie, for
Thank
bringing your
you.
perspective to this conversation, and we look forward to seeing you guys.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm about to take another small break. Awesome. Bonnie, please introduce our next guest.
Yes, I am pleased to introduce my friend and our manufacturing partner for the Design Jam, Chris Castile, who is the founder and co-owner of A New Life Prosthetics and Orthotics. And it was my friendship with Chris that was part of the reason that I steered the theme of the Design Jam towards adaptive products and fashion, because I saw how actively he was pursuing his outdoor life as an amputee. And I really thought, like, this is something that we could get more people interested in creating products that make that possible for more folks. So thank you, Chris.
So it's definitely adaptive design. I'm excited to be here today to have the perspective to constantly challenge me to make my products better.
So I have seen Chris over the last 3 years really work with teams to explain how the product that they're trying to develop may or may not fit well as an adaptation to a prosthetic. And also before Chris started A New Life Prosthetics and Orthotics, he had a very long career in manufacturing in general. So he brings the expertise of the manufacturing process and can help ground some of these wild ideas and these innovative product ideas in the reality of production and manufacturing. Because what we're really trying to do is not just come up with like the wildest idea we can come up with, but actually, is it something that could feasibly be manufactured and turned into a real product here in Michigan? And Chris's expertise and experience as a manufacturer with a background in production really helps ground these ideas that teams are coming up with in those realities, as well as then challenging them to think about it from the perspective of someone who has a prosthetic leg. And we really appreciate his partnership.
Tell us more about the business.
New Life Prosthetics and Orthotics is a medical appliance manufacturer specializing in orthotics and prosthetics. If someone comes in and they want something unique, say something that's not covered by insurance, something that's unique to them, we work with them to make it happen. Artists, we do a number of things with artists, with our digital technologies, as well as our 3D printing and some of our other manufacturing processes.
Nice. And this is all taking place in Detroit, not too far from here.
Literally 2 blocks from here right now.
Literally. You're in the building that you're in right now. What was it before? Was it a bank?
So
Or
originally 105 years ago, it was built as a bank. It's been a number of things over the years since a bank. It's been a church, a nightclub, speakeasy and grow operation, and then finally us.
And then choosing this space in particular, I mean, did you guys choose this space because of the proximity to CCS or what, the community, accessibility?
So for us, we were looking for a place that was zoned for B4 zoning, which allowed us to do patient care as well as manufacturing. So the key for us to be able to manufacture on site is that ability. Falling into a beautiful historic Albert Kahn Bank with pure
Beautiful.
bonus, and we've tried to save as much of that building as we can, but it allows us to have that full basement to do our manufacturing, and upstairs we can see patients and do the fittings.
Oh, absolutely awesome. So in the room right now, all those groups, I think it's 7 or 8 groups that are participating right now. Which table is catching your eye the most, and what have you grabbed from it that you would like to share with the audience?
So it's hard to pick a favorite.
Maybe a spotlight. It doesn't have to be like.
What really captures a few of these items is novel accessories on top of what they're looking for. So not only are they trying to help out with that specific goal, with all these extras that they're putting into it that are factual, that they're also feasible and can be done at a cost-effective rate. They've really kind of condensed this down as product development into a one-day thing.
I saw tons of different kind of prosthetics laying around on the tables. And, for someone who doesn't know a whole lot about the disability community when it comes down to the manufacturing portion and like how do you make sure that it's accessible, I walked in and I was just like, I have absolutely no idea what they're creating. Exactly. And I did walk into this and I saw this group, there's a young man and a young woman, and they had a pair of like gym shorts in their hands. And she had this rope that was wrapping around it. And I was like, what is this? And she was like, well, what we're doing is that we're trying to create a different drawstring in the pants for persons with disabilities. So once they pull it, it automatically retracts. And I was just like, I never even thought about that.
We're about to wrap up here, but how can we reach out to you, Chris, for your business or like more information about what you do?
So a Google search for Detroit Prosthetics should pop up there. Literally, it's the New Life Pando, PANDO.com. Our phone number is 313-870-9610. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your feedback with us, and I look forward to seeing the conclusion of this event.
Well, the best part's about to come up. Show and tell.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be right back, guys. All right, we're back with the Creative Boys. Bonnie, please introduce our next guest.
Thank you. I am pleased to introduce my new friend, Devin Allen. Devin reached out to Design Core some time ago because he heard about the Design Jam and was interested in getting involved. And I will let him tell you that story about how he happened to learn about the program. But Devin is one of the end users that has been involved in helping us craft the personas that the teams are basing their product ideation around today.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Then tell us.
Okay. I heard about Design Jam through a friend I met at a networking event, or a networking event also, in that Detroit fashion show. There's different vendors were showing off their clothes, and the gentleman I met named James ran me on Instagram and told me about Design Jam and how they was looking to make adaptive clothing through disabilities And that just grabbed my attention. And he sent me Bonnie's information. So immediately I emailed her and told her I was interested. I did an interview. Based off my interview, when I told them all the things I was doing, such as the Japanese sports and the hand cycling, they tailor a persona based on me. And some of the struggles I deal with hand cycling is having something to carry in my pocket, such as my phone I had to sit on, and being hydrated without actually having to stop and reach over, grab a hand bottle, because sometimes it can be difficult. So my team and I that I met today, we're working on making the clothing more sporty, which I love, but also have adaptive features that a person that's looking at you, they want to know, so they're able to be hydrated, with a start, and actually be able to hide their pockets or keys.
Wow, I think that is pretty cool that you actually get to be the persona and actually see the process of what's being made creatively and also functionally, right? So it's like, what do you do outside of today in this world regarding adaptive and sports and
Work for Apple, been here 5 years. So I'm a technician. I'm the face that you see when you come into the Apple store to fix anything.
what location are you at?
In Novi.
Okay, I haven't been to that one. I was just in the Somerset one. I gotta come to the Nova and want to check you out.
Right there. So just being involved outside of work in all types of adaptive sports, being a peer mentor to other people with different type of products, and just motivate them to get out and do more and just know that life goes on. And with this program, I like being able to share my personal experience and my voice, because a lot of decisions are made for the disabled community when it's not nobody there to give that personal session. So I'm in my group and everybody's asking me some of the questions, and I'm giving this all my personal experience, like this will work for me, but not another person with a disability. Because I think, well, I don't want to. And I had different challenges in my life where I was stronger at one point or weaker, so things changed. So that's strong personal experience. So just being able to have that first experience in voice when other decisions made.
Absolutely, and I think, it's great that you are being able to be interactive with it, because not enough persons are in the room that actually have the disabilities to ensure that this actually follows through in some of the most empathetic and very functional ways. So you're leaving an impact, not just with being there, but also letting them also know that they need to continuously always collaborate.
You gotta collaborate with people who are actually going to need it instead of just assuming, so that getting that person's experience, whether you're right up with somebody.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing what they actually create, and I know you're going to be the judge of all judges.
So I will be a judge about this. I like to come out more and then bring some more of my friends that I know out there.
Absolutely.
Do it and be a part of it.
Bring that community, because that's what it's all about, right? We don't want to be the only ones in the room. So, awesome. Well, thank you, Deborah, for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we're going to take another pause and wait for our next in beauty.
And we're back with Bonnie and Cheryl.
Hi, I'm happy to introduce Cheryl Angelelli. Cheryl came to us to the Design Jam through an introduction from our friend Gina Adams, who is the the founder, if you will, of an entrepreneurial adventure called Wearology. And we reached out to Gina, who's been participating in this event for the last couple of years, and said, we're looking for, more diverse voices to represent the user community for the Design Jam. And she said, you have to talk to Cheryl Angelelli. Cheryl is a Paralympic athlete and a highly competitive person, I'm told, as well as in her role as marketing manager at the Detroit Rehabilitation Institute, also is, kind of in the space of telling the story of adaptive products and value that they bring to community. And so thankfully, she said yes to us and has been one of the folks interviewed to create the personas that the teams are designing for today. And I'm told is having a fairly good experience. So thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. So please tell us who you are and exactly what you're doing in your role at the company and also your connection with that. Yeah, so as she mentioned, I am one of the end users participating today and super excited to be sharing my lived experiences as a person with a disability. I had a disability as a result of a diving incident when I was 14 years old. I was a competitive swimmer.
And our coach had us doing a new racing dive in the shallow end of the pool, and he ended up breaking my neck. So I orthopedic as a result, but certainly didn't let that stop me from pursuing life and sports and activities. I went off to compete again in swimming as a Paralympian. I competed at the 2000, 2004, 2008 Paralympic Games. I won 2 bronze medals in Athens and 2 silver medals in Beijing. I was a 7-time world champion, and I had 3 world records while I was a Paralympic swimmer. And then when I retired from Paralympic swimming, I was looking for another outlet, competitive outlet. And so now I compete in wheelchair ballroom dancing, which I absolutely love. My partner and I are one of the top 5 couples in the world in ballroom dancing, and it's such a big diverse change from swimming. It's a lot more creative. And I just absolutely love it. I love being active. I hand cycle. I do all kinds of activities. I love to kayak. So super excited to be working with my team here at the Detroit Jam because they're working on accessible recreation for people with disabilities. So that's something that's right up my alley, and something that I was able to contribute my lived experiences to help them come up with a new project. So, yeah.
What are they creating in particular?
Yeah, so as a quadriplegic, I do not have grip strength. So, to be able to hold a racket or a paddle or, a golf club, you have to have a grip. So, a lot of the grips out there, they're super expensive. I have one that's just really fabric and Velcro. It costs $99 just for one hand. So some of these products are super expensive. The gloves I use for my bike are $700 a piece. So this is a piece, right? So these are the team is really coming up with affordable solutions for how I can have a grip that I don't have to buy a grip now for a tennis racket. I don't have to buy a grip for a golf club. We're coming up with a design that it's one glove that would universally fit on different types of recreational equipment.
Oh, wow. That's groundbreaking.
Oh, very much so, right? So I have a good feeling that we might win. Not that I'm competitive.
Okay, well, just saying. What is your sign?
Yeah.
What's your sign?
I am a Leo.
Oh,
I
that
knew
makes
that.
sense.
Because I am a Leo.
Okay. I feel you.
Yes, I actually introduced you as competitive. I was like, oh, this is a fellow Leo sister
Yes.
right here.
This explains
Always.
a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. And you know what? It's totally okay to be competitive, especially in a space where you want to win because you want to win for the development and
Yes.
the initiative of what they're producing. And
Yes.
of course, being in a room in space to constantly challenge them
Right.
and educate and inform them.
Right.
But the fact that they're making this as a universal grip, that's
Yeah, it really driving home to them that, I'm someone who has fun put in here as a project. But this is a product that somebody who has arthritis could use. This is somebody
Exactly.
who may have carpal tunnel syndrome and has trouble gripping. So this product has a lot of legs just beyond somebody with the type of disability that I have. It really can help enhance and give somebody else quality of life.
Oh,
that doesn't have,
absolutely.
a disability that we commonly think of as a disability, right? People don't think of carpal tunnel or sometimes arthritis as disabilities, but they can be, right?
And it is. So this mud is going to go across many uses and also those with other disabilities as well.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for you guys. I really am. And I also know a number of persons that are in wheelchairs, and of course, always having to use your hands to get around.
Yeah.
You're going to need it to be that's going to take care of your hands. It's going to fit it, and then I'm pretty sure this is probably something that'll be long lasting as well.
Yes, very much so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was really great to collaborate with this team. Everyone had such diverse ideas and that to really focus in. And I'm so excited. I just left the room. They're coming up with a prototype, and so I've got all the chills and feels right now.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely for y'all, and of course, I would love to see this go to market too. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're going to advocate for that as well.
For sure. Like I said, so many of the products that they design are for activities and feelings. So don't get me wrong, that's super, super important. But what about joy, right?
Right.
There's things just outside of just existing, right? We all want to be able to participate in recreation and other things that bring us joy. And like I said, this product is really going to give open up opportunities for people to participate in other recreation opportunities and find their joy.
100%. Yeah, and it's a big market out there for that too.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for sharing and telling us who you are.